In a grand kingdom, a mighty king planned an extravagant wedding banquet for his beloved son. The preparations were immense. Golden invitations, sealed with the royal crest, were dispatched by swift messengers to all the nobles, wealthy merchants, and esteemed leaders of the land. The king awaited their arrival with a heart full of joy, eager to share this momentous occasion. The day of the feast arrived, but the great hall remained empty. The king was puzzled. He sent his servants out again, saying, "Go, tell those who were invited that my feast is ready. My finest oxen have been prepared, and everything is waiting. Come to the wedding banquet." But the invited guests were indifferent. One went off to his farm to inspect his fields, another to his shop to check his accounts. They were too busy, too preoccupied with their own lives to honor the king's invitation. Some even treated the king's servants with contempt, seizing them and treating them shamefully. When the king heard of this, his patience turned to righteous anger. How could they scorn such a generous invitation and disrespect his messengers? Their excuses were flimsy, their priorities misplaced. They had shown they were unworthy of his celebration. The king declared, "The wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come." His voice echoed with disappointment, but his spirit was not broken. The feast would go on. He turned to his servants with a new command, a surprising twist that would change everything. "Go out to the main roads and the street corners," he instructed. "Go to the highways and the back alleys. Invite everyone you find to the banquet, no matter who they are." This was an unprecedented act. The invitation was no longer exclusive. It was for everyone. The servants rushed out and did as the king commanded. They gathered all the people they could find, the rich and the poor, the respected and the overlooked, the good and the not so good. They filled the streets, a diverse crowd of people who had never dreamed of stepping inside the royal palace. Soon, the magnificent wedding hall, which was once so hauntingly empty, was filled to the brim with guests. Laughter and chatter replaced the silence. The air buzzed with excitement and gratitude. The feast was finally alive with people ready to celebrate. As the celebration was in full swing, the king himself entered the hall to welcome his guests. He walked among the tables, his heart gladdened by the sight of the full room. He wanted to personally greet those who had accepted his open invitation. But as he moved through the crowd, his eyes fell upon one man who stood out for a strange reason. In a hall where everyone had been provided with beautiful wedding garments, this man was still dressed in his old, ordinary street clothes. He had accepted the invitation to the feast but had refused the special garment offered to him. The king approached him, his voice not of anger, but of genuine confusion. "Friend," he asked gently, "how did you get in here without wedding clothes?" The man was speechless. He had no answer, no excuse. He had been given the same opportunity as everyone else, but he had chosen to reject a crucial part of the king's generosity. The king's expression hardened. This was not just about clothes. It was about respect for the host and the occasion. The man had insulted the king's son and the honor of the wedding. The king turned to his attendants. "Tie him hand and foot," he commanded, his voice firm and final, "and throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." The joyful atmosphere of the hall fell silent for a moment as the man was swiftly removed. It was a sobering reminder that while the invitation was free, it came with an expectation. The king had generously provided everything needed for the celebration, and to refuse his provision was to refuse his grace. The feast then continued, but the lesson was clear to all who remained. The king's final words echoed in their minds. "A powerful and timeless truth, for many are called," he said, looking over the vast crowd of guests, "but few are chosen." The invitation goes out to everyone, far and wide. The king's grace is open to all who will hear his call, but being chosen means more than just showing up. It means fully accepting the king's provision, putting on the new garments he offers, and embracing the transformation he requires to be a true part of the celebration. It is a call to not only hear the invitation but to respond with a whole heart, ready and willing to be clothed in his honor. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more stories.